The question is, should you hunt in the morning or should you hunt in the evening? We're going to take a look at 3 factors that I use to determine the answer to that very question. Hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys being here. And I just want to share with you once again, not necessarily how you should do something, but just a way that I have done it before that's worked for me. I would like to share that with you. The first factor that we're going to look at is where, meaning where are you hunting? Pretty obvious question, but we're going to look at it a little bit differently. Think of it more as, what do the deer that I am pursuing use my hunting grounds for? The land, the parcel, the property that you're hunting, whether it's public, whether it's private, whether it's your own, it really truly doesn't matter. What do the deer utilize the property I'm going to hunt for? What do they do with it? Is it a bedding area? Is it a food source? Maybe it's just a travel corridor. Maybe it's 10 or 20 acres or 40 acres, and really all you see are travel corridors. Maybe your property holds a lot of does, so mature bucks often use that property during the rut. That's a possibility. But there's another possibility, and that is that there are no deer. You put a trail camera up and you rarely see a deer. We'll touch on that too. So that's factor number 1, is where. The second factor to pay attention to is when. When are you going to hunt? What month? So September and October, pre-rut, food is still top of the list for importance for these deer. So I try to hunt with that in mind. If your property has a ton of beds, a morning hunt could be great. If you can get in before the deer are back to their beds and you're along a travel corridor to their beds, morning time's killer, because they're hitting these destination food sources in the evening. They're hitting that at night. Okay, they're not hitting that during the day. You're not going to see at 10:30. You're not going to see a whole bunch of booners in a soybean field along a major highway. Very rare are you going to see something like that. However, 8 o'clock at night, you certainly can. So, or 6 o'clock at night. So if you have a lot of beds on your property, feel free to hunt in the morning pre-rut. If you don't, I like the evening hunt. If it's before November 1st, I primarily hunt the evening because I'm trying to catch deer on their way to food. They're leaving their bed from the day. Their bed is super secluded. It's very thick. They've got a ton of browse because they're eating through the day. Some of these studies are telling us once an hour a mature buck is getting up and eating. I'm sure it changes every day, depends on the weather and all that kind of thing, but they're eating that browse. They're staying there. They're camping out all day, and at night, they're doing what they want. They're going to the good food. They're having steak at night. During the day, they're eating, leaves off a thorn bush and stuff. But at night, they're eating soybeans. They're eating corn. They're doing their thing. So I try to catch them on the way to their thing, November, the rut, you can kind of throw out the window what the deer are using that for, except for when it comes to does. So if you know your property holds does, you probably got a killer rut place. If your property has no deer, you still may have a killer rut place. That's the crazy thing about the rut. So if you have no deer, you think you've got just an absolute garbage property that you're trying to hunt, sit all day in November. You don't know. You're stacking the odds in your favor. The more hours in the stand, the more likely you're going to catch somebody walking by. So November, if you have very little intel, that's a good time to sit all day long. So post-rut is post-breeding season, sort of. It's more like post-peak breeding season because technically the does that didn't get bred during the rut, in 28 days, they're going to come back into cycle. And a lot of people think they're going to continue coming back into cycle, maybe 3, maybe 4 times until they get bred or not. But a lot of folks think that they're going to keep coming into cycle until they're bred. That means that there's going to be some kind of rut activity possibly any time in the woods after November. December, January, February, does are getting bred. March, does are getting bred. Look around at some young fawns. I just saw a set of twins that were born probably 2 nights ago. Do the math of when those babies were conceived. It's kind of interesting. So anyways, there's a possibility of seeing some rut-like behavior even after November. December and January, February, those are recoup months for these bucks. They've lost up to 40% of their body weight during the rut. Food has been bottom of the totem pole for a while, and now it's time to start gaining some weight back if they want to survive. So food is a huge focus. The third factor is very, very important and often overlooked, and that is the wind. So with wind being the third factor here, that can really throw off any of this, because if you've got the perfect stand and the perfect weather, but the wind is wrong, I mean, that's a deal breaker. That's a real deal breaker. So that can kind of just destroy any other plans we've made, depending on what the wind wants to do. So yes, in conclusion, identify what your property is used for by the deer. Recognize what the deer's needs are for the time of year that you're hunting. And obviously pay attention to the wind. Is the wind going to be better in the evening? Is the wind going to be better in the morning? That's enough to make a deciding factor. And just one little extra tidbit, if that temperature swings 10, 20 degrees lower than the average, that's a huge candidate for taking off work and trying to hunt. I hope this helps. I really do. If you disagree with anything I said, let me know. I would love to chat about it. Anyways, thanks again. Appreciate it. And yeah, cheers.
Come on, girls. There you go.